podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to a new podcast, The Paddock and the Pavilion with Stephen Wallace. In each show, Stephen will interview someone connected to the world of horse racing or cricket.
Hello and welcome to The Paddock and the Pavilion for one of our midweek episodes. With the turf flat season due to start on Saturday, I caught up with one of the leading Newmarket-based jockeys, Rab Havlin, for his personal thoughts of last season and to look forward to 2021. On this Sunday's podcast, I will be with Philip Blacker, a man of many talents. Philip is now a world-famous sculptor, while in the 1970s and the early 1980s, he was a professional jump jockey and came close to riding the winner of the Grand National. Enjoy today's podcast with Rab Havlin, which was recorded in early March. Hello, Rab. Thanks for coming back on the Paddock and the Pavilion.
No problem, Stephen. Anytime.
Oh, how are you anyway?
Yeah, good. Bearing up, ticking away, trying to keep busy.
You're still doing some homeschooling, yeah?
Well, I ride out every morning and I try to drag my feet and find as many jobs on the way home to do before I get here to kind of hopefully my wife has finished most of it by the time I get home. So, I managed to get the tail end of it every day.
Oh, that helps all this all-weather racing, not having to do any homeschooling then, yeah.
I know, yeah, just it's soul-destroying, really.
But what's it been like with the previous cold weather we had in the winter, riding out on the heath? Yeah,
well, we still had plenty of horses cantering, so as you can imagine, it wasn't very nice through everything that is this year. Sort of freezing winds, and then we had the tail end of that storm, and then we had the snow. So we've had all sorts, but thankfully we've turned the corner now, and we're getting some nice weather and some nice temperatures.
Being a Scotsman, you should be used to cold weather anyway.
Well, the amount of times I hear that, I never get used to cold weather. I hate the cold, but the amount of times people say to me, "You're a Scotsman, you should be used to it."
And have you still been riding out Stradivarius?
No, I'll probably get back on him soon, but he's just mainly been trotting through the winter. So he'll start his campaign soon, sort of building him up, and that's when I'll get back on him. But we've had lots of, quite a few runners on the all-weather, so I've been busy ticking away on them.
Talking about the all-weather, you recently rode the winner of the Winter Derby at Lingfield on Forest of Dean. You were praised for your tactics taking up the running. All went to plan that day.
Yeah, obviously I'd ridden him in the trial, and the kind of same scenario had played out, but I hung on to him into the straight because I didn't want to kick on down the hill and open the race up for the hold-up horses behind me because they were my dangers. So I hung on to him to the straight and in order for them to come round me, and he didn't really pick up that well. So the same sort of scenario happened. I happened to be in the same position in the Winter Derby, so I thought, well, I'll try plan B then, and I kicked him in the belly running down the hill and stole a few lengths and was able to hang on to the line.
And what's his next target?
Well, they'll go for the Easter Classic back at Lingfield, so taking on the same horses again, but obviously with the addition of Bangkok. I'd imagine he would turn up there because he was in Saudi at the time when the Winter Derby. So that'll be a stronger race in the Easter Classic, and but I mean, obviously he's improved each time he's run this year after having a layoff. So hopefully we can squeeze another little bit of improvement at him.
And what's it been like since last June when you started back racing? Have you got used to all the COVID protocols, no crowds?
Yeah, I mean, the no crowds was pretty easy. We didn't really have to do anything different. Basically the changing rooms have been are different. We're a lot all segregated, and we have our own space, a 2 metre space, and basically having to follow the one-way systems around the weighing room and just follow protocol really. But as I think I spoke before, like being a jockey, you're kind of used to rule changes and things changing and following protocol, so it was quite easy to just kind of fit into that.
I suppose it's good to still be able to work, unlike a lot of people.
Oh, exactly. I mean, we're the lucky ones, and so as the spring comes in, we're out in the nice weather, and your heart goes out to these people that have been locked in high-rise flats or built-up areas, and they don't have the parks or the countryside like us to get out, and we're lucky, we've been able to still earn a wage and we've been able to still get out.
But what was it like at Royal Ascot, say, with no crowds? That must have been different.
Yeah, that was very weird. That was very weird. I mean, you do miss the crowds at these big meetings, and it's part of the atmosphere. Even going to the start, you can feel the buzz. But look, at least it was able to go ahead, so we have to be thankful for that.
Well, hopefully there'll be crowds back there this year.
Yeah, well, it's good that we've got some dates now, and hopefully with the testing and the vaccines being rolled out quick, I think the first crowds are hopefully going to start about 5,000, and hopefully by the end of the year we can build back up to something like normal.
That's something to look forward to. But what were your own personal highlights last season's turf season?
We started off good, and I won the Brigadier Gerard on Lord North, and rode some exciting horses towards the back end of the year, and it's every year's good riding for a stable as big as ours, and even the winners I didn't ride, I enjoyed watching and being involved in the ones that were winning the big races.
Because you got to ride Palace Pear in his first ride of last season as well, didn't you?
Yeah, it was fantastic, and he went on to be top 3-year-old of the year, so looking forward to him running this year and seeing what he can do, and he's got some nice targets. Oh,
he's back again this year as well?
Yeah, he stayed in training this year, so yeah, we've got some nice ones to go on. Obviously, Enable retired, but hopefully we can find a few that we can fill up space, and obviously Mishriff won the richest race in the world recently, so there's some nice horses there, and hopefully we can, obviously the boss ended up being champion trainer again, which was another highlight.
And is Lord North about again this year?
Yeah, Lord North's here. He's heading for the Shima Classic in Dubai, so that'll be his start-off point this year, and we'll see where he goes from there.
And you also got close to winning a Group 1 with Indigo Girl at Newmarket.
Yeah, it was quite unfortunate because the winner was supposed to run the week before, but there was a feed contamination, so they swerved France and came to Newmarket, and unfortunately they beat us, so that was just one of those things. But obviously she's a nice filly going forward this year as well, so exciting stuff.
And as an old timer, if I can say that, do you still get excited about the new turf season and returning to the Rowley Mile? Yeah,
I think if you didn't, you shouldn't be in the game really. It's that's at a time of the year when you have expectations for horses. Obviously some let you down, but some exceed expectations, so it's always a very exciting time. And the spring is in the air, and everybody's got a lighter step, and you've got the whole season to look forward. Good times and bad.
Away from the racing scene, what about your football team, Rangers, Scottish League champions?
Yeah, unbelievable, isn't it? Stevie Gerrard's done a fantastic job. Unbelievable job there. I just hope we can hang on to him for another few years.
Your friend Ali McCoist will be pleased.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of celebrating going on in Scotland that night. So, and I had a few drinks myself. So, yeah, no, it was perfect. A great result, and hopefully it's back to winning ways for Rangers and onwards and upwards.
Well, thank you again for being on the Paddock and the Pavilion, and good luck for the new turf season and a return to crowds at the Rowley Mile and the July course in the summer.
Thanks, Stephen. That's great.
Thank you for listening to the Paddock and the Pavilion. You can download the show on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Stitcher and Spotify. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at The Pad and Pad.
Sports Social Podcast Network.
How powerful is the Cox Network? So powerful that one day the internet will let your doctor perform miracles from thousands of miles away.
Connecting to remote operating room.
Giving a whole new meaning to the term house call.
Operation complete.
The Cox Network. With gig speeds everywhere. It's internet built for tomorrow, today. Cox, bringing us closer. In Cox serviceable areas, speeds vary and are not guaranteed. Cox terms apply. Other restrictions may apply.